exported over 2.8 billion worth of crude oil in 2017, but still imported 1.7 billion of refined petroleum products such as petrol. Government will in 2019 begin the groundwork for the establishment of a petrochemicals hub. The hub will process our gas into petrochemical products, including fertilizer, for the domestic and West African sub-regional markets. This will be accomplished by developing major infrastructure for refining, discharging, storing, distributing, and trading petroleum products. Mr. Speaker, government will provide further support for industrialization through the One Region, One Park program. Government will be partnering with the private sector through PPPs to develop a number of industrial parks, including the Greater Kumasi Industrial City and Special Economic Zones, which will cover some 5,000 acres and incorporate the inland port at Boankra. Over the past 2 years, government has laid strong foundations for industrialization through critical infrastructure investments and industrial programs such as the One District, One Factory Idea program and the stimulus package for distressed industrial businesses. Mr. Speaker, in 2018, government worked with private financiers to provide additional support for industrialization through the stimulus package for distressed industrial businesses. In 2018, the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the participating financial institutions disbursed 227 million cedis to 14 companies. An additional 34 companies are under consideration for this program. Mr. Speaker, in addition to this, government will further pursue industrialization along a 10-point plan that prioritizes key industrial subsectors for investment. These include automotive and vehicle assembly, pharmaceuticals, garments and textiles, vegetable oil and fats, industrial starch, industrial chemicals, iron and sign MOUs with 3 automobile companies, Volkswagen, Nissan, and Sinotruk, towards the establishment of assembly plants in Ghana. Additionally, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, in collaboration with the Government of Poland under the African-Polish Cooperation Framework, will benefit from a 100 million concessionary credit facility to establish an assembly and manufacturing plant for tractors, modern agricultural equipment and machinery for both the Ghana and ECOWAS markets. This will support the government's industrial transformation agenda, particularly in respect of rural industrialization. The 1D1F program is the key pillar of agro-industrialization. Many of the supported factories are processing agricultural produce into ready-to-consume forms that have previously largely been imported. We will continue to scale the program impact. In 2019, 1DIF will enhance the PFG and RFG efforts in poultry by ensuring that there are feed mills and chicken processing facilities to industrialize the value chain. Mr. Speaker, government will in 2019 begin the groundwork for the establishment of a petrochemical hub. This will process gas from gas produced locally in petrochemical products and fertilizers for the domestic and West African sub-region. This will be accomplished by developing major infrastructure for refining, discharging, storage, and trading. Ghana, Mr. Speaker, used to have a textile industry that employed around 30,000 people. But in recent years, the industry has fallen on hard times, and now the number employed is only 5,000. It is government's aim to revive this industry, which could be a big source of employment. So in order to curtail smuggling and counterfeiting, which have been undermining the industry, we will extend the tax stamp policy to the textile products. Further, to make industry price competitive, government will zero-rate VAT on the supply of locally made textile for a period of 3 years. Mr. Speaker, work on the establishment of the National Development Bank to focus on industry and agriculture progressed steadily in 2018. A technical committee appointed by government has completed this work and has proposed, among others, that the institution should be set up as a completely new institution. Government has accepted the recommendations and set up a project team to operationalize the recommendations in order to launch the bank in 2019. Mr. Speaker, government in 2019 would invest over $1 billion in industry to support 1D, 1F, to support the stimulus package, to support industrial manufacturing hubs, to create strategic export zones, to create the largest industrial effort in our history in the past 50 years. Mr. Speaker, government will also encourage and promote Ghanaian participation in renewable energy with focus on assembling and manufacturing. The Ministry of Finance and Energy will collaborate and present proposals for incentives for consideration for the South.